Y'all, this community just clutched a huge W for 343. For so long, Halo's player base has wanted a lot of things that are just now starting to get implemented thanks to Season 5. But while 343 was working on that, there's been a community of passionate Halo fans making something that people have demanded to be implemented. So today, let's suit up and stick an AI in the back of our heads as we talk about Halo Infinite. And if you enjoy what you see today, be sure to sub to the channel. Okay? Let's continue. Now, before we dive in, I want to go ahead and set the precedent that I like Battle Royales the same way that people like commuting to work while there's construction on the road. I've personally never seen the appeal of waiting to find a game, waiting even longer to begin the game, dropping in, dying, and then repeating that process over again until you win one game. So when I saw that a passionate group of Halo fans named the Forge Falcons made one of the most advanced Battle Royales in Halo history, I was intrigued, but also on the fence. And as hesitant as I was, I jumped in feet first and it wasn't too shabby. The main gist of the game mode is to drop into a procedurally generated space, kill all the other Spartans, and win. Or lose. I've had the latter experience. I mean, it's simple enough, right? But there are a few things that make this stand out to me. There's a King of the Hill point that you can stand in to get extra points, and that's really about it. There are also drop pods that remind me a lot of Delta Halo that give you additional weapons. It just adds that Halo charm that I grew up with. There are also vehicles. I'll dive into that later. And the final thing I want to add here is that there's also a gulag, and just like the vehicles, I'm going to dive into that later. There are some other things that I really can't comment on, like the perks for damage and health, as well as buy stations, because I either haven't used them or I'm not aware of them. Now that you have the schmeat and taters of the BR, not only do I want to dive into what I liked and what I didn't, but I also want to dive into some of the questions I asked the Forge Falcons, because even if you're not a fan of this game, you gotta give respect where respect is due. Now, what I liked about the Halo BR mode is that the map is small in scale, but it feels massive once you're in the nitty gritty of it all. There are definitely some hot drop areas like the shipyard, but it feels like you're not overly crowded. Probably because the most players you can have in one lobby is 24. Map design is pretty top tier from what the Forge Falcons were able to do. It doesn't have an overabundance of verticality to where people are only camping buildings. In some cases, that doesn't do jack shit for you. And if you're gonna play like that, just grab the sniper rifle, head to the launch pad where the hunters are at, and just stay there. Another thing I like is that there are PvE elements as well, with brutes, elites, and hunters being able to spawn. You can kill these bastards, steal their weapons, and use them to help you get a W, including the energy sword. The Forge Falcons really utilize that campaign AI toolkit amazingly well here. And hell, there's even mini boss fights that you can have on this map. I think that's about it for now. I want to tackle some of the stuff I don't like, but I'm using this as a means of feedback. First things first, I don't like that there are vehicles, especially the Ghost. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten into games and people take the Ghost and use it for the entire duration of the game. I don't think the map is big enough to warrant vehicles anyways, so if they were to get taken out, I wouldn't know the difference. Second, the gulag can see you fighting up to 2 different people at the same time. I haven't messed around with the Forge tool, so I don't know if it's possible to have Spartans spawn in different gulags, but if you're able to do that, please do. Wait, is there anything else? No? Well shit, that's a relief. The only thing that hinders the experience from time to time is that it does take some time to get a full lobby, and there are constant custom game errors that pop up. But that's not on the Forge Falcons, so I'm not holding that against them. Now, as much as I would love to leave you guys with some first reaction gameplay, all you're gonna hear is me trying not to have a coronary as I was getting used to everything. I was enjoying the BR mode the more I played it, but this would be an entirely different video if I based it off my first impressions. Instead, I'm gonna dive into some of the questions I asked the Forge Falcons because I was genuinely curious about who they are and why they made this game mode. The first question I asked was, how far back does the team's love of Halo go? Here's what they said. Our love for Halo goes as far back as we can remember. We all grew up on Halo and we've all stuck with it through even its roughest of years. It shaped what we do. We simply wouldn't be here or be doing this if it wasn't for Halo/Forge. You know, I remember when Halo 3 first announced this mode where you were able to build your own maps and create what you want. Looking back at it now, we were very limited, but it spawned so many great maps like Jenga, Duck Hunt, every single mongoose and warthog racing map imaginable. The next question I asked was what inspired them to make this BR mode for Halo Infinite. Here's their response. The main thing that inspired us to make this Battle Royale is everyone that wants a Halo Battle Royale. And we wanted to greenlight this project under one condition. We don't just make a Battle Royale, we make a Halo Battle Royale. And thank you for being able to keep that Halo-esque feel, because there's so many people that would want to try to make this similar to Warzone or PUBG or Apex or whatever it may be. I know that with Battle Royales, there's not too much you can do to make them unique, but this one genuinely has its own personality. The next two questions I'm just gonna lump together. How long did it take to make this, and how many people worked on it? Their answer: this took about 3 to 4 weeks from scratch. If that's the map and all of its scripting, it all started about 3 to 4 weeks ago. 5 to 6 people worked on this, 3 very actively, and 3 that helped out where and when they could. This is what's shocking to me. This took them around a month, and a team of 6, both full-time and part-time, to create this mode. Meanwhile, Halo Infinite has been around for almost 2 years, and 343 hasn't even acknowledged the possibility of having something like this. And last question, is this something that you think 343 should implement outside of custom games? And this is their response. Not in a biased way, but this is absolutely something 343 should add to matchmaking. It's very polished and well balanced, and it's only a social mode. For 343, this would not only add more content to the game, but would most definitely get eyes on it from the wider gaming community. This is a platinum response to me, and let me tell you why. The Forge Falcons know that they cooked up something on a Gordon Ramsay level. They know that this is something that would put more eyes on Halo Infinite, and in turn, put more eyes onto the potential of this being an official mode. Now, as far as I'm concerned, 343 just may let this live as a social mode and nothing more. Maybe because they still feel burned on Last Spartan Standing, but I'll break down why I think that would be a horrible idea in my final thoughts. And I think that's about it for now. I want to sincerely thank the Forge Falcons for taking time out of their day to answer my questions and for putting in such a great deal of effort into this mode. I'll be leaving the links down below so you can bookmark the mode and maps so you can host your own lobbies. For my final thoughts, I think this is one of the best things to happen to Halo Infinite. I know Season 5 has reignited that spark for a lot of Halo fans to come back to Halo Infinite, but this is just fuel to the fire. The Forge Falcons sought out to meet the demand that players have wanted, and that being a Battle Royale mode. Initially, I was against the idea of Halo having a Battle Royale mode because every damn game under the sun has one, and it's obvious that these devs are just chasing trends. I think a lot of players are going to see this BR mode and say it's just like Last Spartan Standing. But I think we can all agree that Last Spartan Standing was a poorly strung together mode with little to no thought put into it. It was essentially, let's make free-for-all, but with limited spawns and a ring that closes in. Nothing more, nothing less. It might just get some of these people to shut the fuck up about a Battle Royale mode at this point. This mode has an endless amount of potential, and if 343 wants to see Halo Infinite survive the long haul, they'd be smart to make this an official mode and bring in the people who created it to continue support for the mode. But why Blackout? Why would 343 want to make this an official mode? Well, the Forge Falcons tweeted their stats out just 2 days after launch, and let me take a second to read the highlights of this. 5 million views across all platforms, 75,000 likes across all platforms, most plays on launch, most bookmarks on launch, most open lobbies, highest rated experience. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am, please let me know in the comments, but this has to be one of, if not, the most successful social mode in Halo Infinite's life so far. And one thing that I didn't mention is that Update 2.0 is coming soon, which is going to generate even more players to come back. I think that regardless if you're a fan of Halo or not, a fan of BRs or not, this is something worth playing, and this for damn sure is worth the recognition and acknowledgement of not only the people who worked on this, but the success that it's generating. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about the BR mode for Halo Infinite. And while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and teabag that sub button. Also, YouTube can show you my content free of charge. Also, consider becoming a member. It's $3 a month, you get exclusive perks, and it all goes back to the channel. Shout out to the current members that I have. Y'all are absolute legends. This is Sir Blackout signing off to jump feet first into hell to finish the fight. And then finish it again. And again. And again. And again. And again.